in here this weekend. Those are going to feel nice. And we're going to melt the snow that's out there.
Thankfully, because like I said, I have not pulled out the shovel just yet. A little lazy so far. It's first snow.
Did you turn on the heat yet, though, both of you? That's the big question.
I refuse. You said 60s are on the way.
Yeah, but
we can hold out. We can hold out.
You are crazy.
Stick in there, everybody. 60s are on the way. We'll see you here tomorrow. Chicago Now starts right now.
Turn on your heat.
Just after 10, me and Tia hanging out this morning.
To have a good time, aren't we?
Yes, we are. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. You know, after yesterday being in all of that snow, it was a lot going on. I'm happy to not be in the snow.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I saw a really funny video, and you were like, "I'm gonna go get this shovel and see if I could do some business to this ice." What went on with that live shot?
Oh my goodness, there was so much going on, Caitlin. So. First of all, we went to Indiana,
yes,
which you know Indiana was hit with the worst of it. We were in one of our low-profile live trucks, which I knew, being in that truck, that we were probably going to be stuck. I said it. I said, man, this truck is too low profile. The tires look a little, you know, like they may need to be changed. We're going to get stuck. And sure enough, coming out of the driveway at a gas station after we interviewed this beautiful lady named Eloise Mays. Thank you, Eloise, for that beautiful interview that you did with us. She had actually gotten stuck on the expressway, was sitting for an hour. After we finished the interview.
Sitting for an hour?
Sitting for a whole hour on I-65.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was close.
After we finished the interview, we were like, okay, time to pack up, let's go. And by the way, one of our new reporters who starts officially today was with us. And all of a sudden, I'm like, we're stuck. And I'm like, we don't have a shovel in here? I mean, that is like a Chicago rule of thumb, to have a shovel, to have salt, to have, I mean, even if it's table salt, to be able to get yourself out. Sand, something, right? We didn't have any of that. So I was like, well, clearly the gas station has something. So let me go see if I can get him to, you know, let us borrow his shovel. And he was very apprehensive. He's like, well, who are you? Why do you want my shovel? I'm like, I'm not stealing your shovel. I'm just trying to dig us out. And we started digging ourselves out, and we had no luck. He saw us struggling, the gas station attendant. He came out, he gave it a whirl, and boom, we got free.
No way.
But we were out there for probably, I'll say about 25 minutes, maybe a little longer. We were stuck, going nowhere.
25 minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was the beginning, and then I just heard, and I haven't seen this video, that you were jumping in the snow?
So what happened was, because we were so already delayed, we ran into some other issues, technical issues. We had to get on TV. The story that I put together was not ready for air.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, we got to come to you with something. So I was like, well, the best I can do is a fun live shot on what we've experienced today. I won't have video to show you, and so then, of course, like Terrence and Sylvia, their personalities, they were like, we want to see you come back and make a snow angel. And I was like, well, why wait? And so there was this huge heap of snow, impossible to make a snow angel. I leaped on top of it, and then I just fell down.
You fell down?
Well, not literally dramatically, but, you know, more like a slow roll down.
Oh.
It was fun.
I was worried you were going to say you jumped down and it was like ice.
No, it was fun. I love the snow. I absolutely love it.
Oh.
I love working on snow stories, and then, like, I don't like it, like, being in it every day, driving and stuff. But, like, for reporting purposes, absolutely, I love it.
Really?
The first snowfall? Absolutely. I try to see the positive in everything, Caitlin. I refuse to, like, get all bogged down, like, oh, the sun isn't coming out, oh, it's snowing, and be all drab about everything. I mean, we got enough negativity in the world. I'm not living my life like that.
So the sun going down before 6 doesn't bother you?
It bothers me, but we'll get through it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, how long is it it's not going to last forever.
We don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice.
You know?
We'll get through
I think
it.
I have a cold now. Speaking of complaining, it's like I got the pink eye, I got the strep, and now I think I have a cold, and I like the positivity.
Yeah, don't live
How can I twist this to be positive?
Well, let's hope that you go through all of that now, and then the rest of the season coming into the new year, you'll have a clean slate of health, and hey, it'll all be under the bridge.
And my immunity is going to be through the roof for everything else that comes my way.
That's the way you got to see it.
You know? All right, you guys. I hope that you at home had a
Like,
wonderful snow
where are
day.
they going with this?
I know, we're just chit-chatting. It's fun to host together.
It is fun.
Today, it's really cold. I mean, not to add to the drab, but it's gusty, it's cold, we've got clouds, but the sunshine is coming. And guess what? Saturday in the 60s.
I know, partay, okay?
So it's something to look forward to, and actually extended models are showing that it's going to be warmer than normal for most of the month anyway.
Well, we got to get to TMZ. We know Michael Babcock.
Poor Michael.
He's listening to us just blabber on. He's like, get through it already. Okay, he's here to talk about all of the top celebrity news that's been trending, starting with Dave Portnoy. We know there was an anti-Semitic heckler that actually got busted. I'm surprised somebody would even do something like this on video, Michael, and think they could get away with it. How was this person tracked down?
Yeah, it's crazy. Good morning. I love listening to you guys. I was sitting here, I got the coffee. I'm happy. I was hoping I wouldn't have to talk. I was just going to listen.
You're just chilling.
Yeah, this is, like he was at Mississippi State University. It was before a big football game recently, and I think a lot of excitement on campus, and it was a happy day. And then something like this happened. So if anyone's familiar with Dave Portnoy, or not familiar with Dave Portnoy, he is the guy behind Barstool Sports. Sort of as an offshoot to Barstool Sports, he does this pizza review, these one-bite pizza reviews that have become incredibly popular. And essentially, he'll go to different pizza places across the country, and he will rate the pizza spot. It's pretty simple. So while he's filming one of these things at the Mississippi State campus before the football game, somebody walks by and obviously won't repeat what they said, but say a curse word, the Jews.
Wow.
And immediately, I think, everyone taken back, like, did that actually just happen? So there's a bit of jawing back and forth, and Dave Portnoy sort of tries to approach the guy. There's security there. There's a lot of other people there. There's camera people. There's people who are watching. So nothing happens physically, thankfully. But then the quest was on to try and identify this person, and he was ultimately identified because, like you said, it's on video, and it was a pretty clear shot. And it was only a matter of time before this person's identity was known. So he's a 20-year-old, now former student, because he has withdrawn from the university. Now, likely because they said to him, if you don't withdraw, then we're going to kick you out. And they left it up to him. Whatever the case may be, he is no longer a student. A bigger problem, perhaps, though, for him is that he has also been hit with a misdemeanor charge for what happened that day. So he's facing now a criminal charge, albeit a misdemeanor, and he's also he doesn't have a university now. So it's an ugly incident. It's something that Dave Portnoy has said has been happening more and more to him. He says he's been experiencing anti-Semitism on a near daily basis now, and it's not very encouraging to see.
Have we heard from him, the student? Like, I can't imagine what his excuse would be.
Not to my knowledge. Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think you would love to hear from him. And I don't know that there could be any explanation for saying something like that, but I think you'd like to hear something from this person. Again, he's a 20-year-old. He's not a kid. And I think a lot of people questioning why. Well, it was not part of the show. It wasn't part of the shoot in any way. He's just walking by, and then he feels the need to scream this for some reason, which is pretty puzzling to me.
The weird part is you would think that, like, he did that to get attention, but that would be the exact wrong kind of attention to go viral about.
I agree. But we have seen...
He's got it now.
Yeah, he's gotten it now. We have seen across the country anti-Semitism being up. So definitely not something that we want to see, but something that seems like when you look at the numbers, they speak for themselves.
It's happening.
Michael, we do want to keep talking to you. We do have to toss to a quick break. We want to come back and talk about Kim Kardashian. So stay with us. We'll be right back. welcome back to Chicago Now. We want to go back to Michael Babcock with TMZ. We're talking about Kim Kardashian. Her psychics got it wrong about her bar exam. I don't know why she turns to these psychics anyway. What turned out to be the results of this bar exam, Michael?
She did not pass, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Despite, I feel bad for laughing, but despite the fact that Kim says that not 1, 2, 3, but 4 psychics told her that she was going to pass. You know, look, maybe they didn't mean that she was going to pass this time around, but maybe they meant she was going to pass at some point. And I do believe she is going to pass at some point. I mean, the reality is she can retake the test. She will retake the test, and it'll likely happen in February. That's the next opportunity. So she goes, and she will obviously, you know, study up even more so this time, I would imagine, and she will, again, attempt to pass this test. It's been an interesting journey for Kim. She has not gone the traditional route, to say the least. She has not gone to law school. She has, over like a 6-year period, through tutors, through professors, through teachers, she has basically crafted her own law school. And
maybe that's the problem.
Well, it might be. It might be. It took her 4. You know, there's the baby bar exam, which is like a kind of like a smaller version of the ultimate bar exam, and it took her 4 times to ultimately pass that test. But she did, and I would expect that she would ultimately pass this too. She cares. But here's what I would say about Kim. She cares about this. She doesn't have to do this. She's worth what, like north of $1 billion. Wow. She wants to be an attorney because she cares about criminal justice reform, and I believe that she actually does think that she can affect more positive change if she were an attorney. Not to mention her dad, Robert Kardashian. People may be aware of him. He was O.J. Simpson's best friend, O.J. Simpson's attorney, but he was obviously an attorney in his own right. So I think part of it has to do with her father's legacy, and I hope she passes in February.
Okay, so the baby bar, I was wondering, because I thought I heard in the past that she had passed the test, the bar test.
She did.
So is that the process for lawyers? They have to do the baby bar, and then they do the real bar exam?
You know what? That is a great question. I wish I had the definitive answer. I want to say it has something to do with whether the path that she's taken and having not gone to law school, but do not quote me on that, because she's not a lawyer. I'm definitely not a lawyer.
Listen, I've watched Suits, so I feel like I should know all the answers to this.
That's as far as my legal knowledge goes too.
Can she take it? This is another question we probably don't know the answer to. How many times can you take the bar exam?
I believe.
Oh, no way.
Keep going. I think she can keep taking. Yeah, I think she can keep taking.
Okay.
I think so.
That's good.
Hopefully it won't take that many chances. Hopefully February's it. Here's what I will say though. There's like a 50% pass-fail rate for people who take the test. People who fail and then retake, it's something like a 25%, give or take, failure rate or pass rate. 25% of people who fail the first time pass the second time. There we go. I was trying to figure out how to say that.
At this point, I mean, Michael, she should know all the answers. I mean, she's taken it.
You would think so.
I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny. How many times? But all of this time that she's done this, you know, had all these tutors and everything. And I'm not, you know, listen, I'm not worth that kind of money. But it just seems like it would be common sense at this point to just go to law school. I mean, you could go to law school online.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. I know, and I just listening to the lawyers who are here, the way they talk about the bar exam, you've never seen a harder test. And I think even if you go to law school, it's incredibly hard, but it probably would have been beneficial. I think for her, she probably would say that she's just too busy. She's got this business empire, the reality show. She's got so many things going on that it wasn't feasible for her to go to law school, but probably would have made things easier.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I hope she didn't pay the psychics.
Oh, she probably for sure paid those psychics.
Well, she's got the money,
Can
right?
she sue?
I mean, but still, it's just...
Here's the thing. It doesn't even matter. Her mom turned 70 over the weekend. They had a party. Adele, Mariah Carey, Prince Harry, Mark Zuckerberg. They were at Jeff Bezos' $165 million house. She's living the life, lawyer or not.
She'll be a lawyer one of these days. I give her credit.
Or she could just call herself one at this point. I mean, what's stopping
Can you buy it? Yeah, can you buy yourself a law?
She's playing one on TV now. She's got that Hulu show. So there you go, if nothing else.
Oh.
Not a lawyer. I just play a very well-dressed one on TV. 6 years
there
into
you
this
go.
law
There
journey,
she alludes to
and I'm
it.
still all in until I pass the bar. No shortcut. Girl, no shortcuts. Don't get me started, Michael. Don't get, because that's definitely some shortcuts there along the way. All right, Michael.
Michael, before we let you go, how's the weather out there in Cali? We were complaining about the snow.
It was warm. It was like 80 degrees. Yes, as everyone hates me now. It was like 80 yesterday. It's gonna be like 71 today.
Oh,
I have
71.
one question for you, Michael. This is a little off topic.
Yeah.
What do
Yes.
you use to keep your hair so perfect?
Oh, well, thank you for saying that.
I'm serious.
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
Sea salt spray after the shower, and
No
then
way.
I use this very like sticky texture paste, and then hairspray. That's it.
Him and Jake can
That's good.
exchange notes, I think.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Babcock.
Text me, Jake.
It's always
I
a
need your
pleasure.
assistance.
What is it,
Thank you for having
8:15?
me.
8:15 in LA right now?
8:15 and 8.
Oh, good.
Wow, you look good to be up this early in the
Thank
morning.
you.
I
I've
can't
been
even
up for
pull
a few
that
hours.
off.
I'm
Yes.
tired though. I need that coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get you that coffee. Have just the best day. Low 70s, California. Ooh.
Nothing to complain
I can't
about.
complain.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It was great to talk to you as always.
Good
All
to
right,
talk
we'll
to
see
you,
next
too.
time, Michael.
Okay.
All right, I'm always jealous when people especially when we look outside. Like, look, I told you that I'm always positive, but when I hear that, like
I
80
know.
yesterday, 71 today, it makes me miss when I lived in Northern California, days like that. But nothing can beat this. That Chicago skyline.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. I love being from here. Chicago's awesome.
Chicago is awesome, and you know what? You can embrace the negative. Like you said, it's snowy, go make a snow angel. If it gets dark at night, go to bed early or watch your Netflix shows, get cozy.
Yeah, get yourself a flashlight. All right, coming up, today is Veterans Day. First of all, we want to thank all of the veterans out there that are watching right now. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all of your sacrifices. And in fact, we're going to talk to someone about a Veterans Day exhibit. This is at the Belmont Village Senior Living Center. We'll have that right after this break.
Welcome back. So it is Veterans Day, and in honor of that, we are talking to Belmont Village Senior Living Facility and the Chicago Department of Aviation because they're honoring U.S. veterans with a new photo exhibition. We're learning more about this with Clarence Edward, who is a resident at Belmont Village Senior Living. Good morning, Clarence. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
So can we first dive into the American Heroes Portraits of Service? How did this begin? Where did the idea come from?
Where did I start at?
Yes, just tell us about the exhibit.
Oh, they came out and took a picture of me and asked me to be okay to display it at the airport, and I thought it would be a great thing to do. And so they went with it, and so people go out there to visit and see it, and I really appreciate that.
Well, Clarence, we want to first thank you for your service and all that you've done for this country. Tell us about your time being a service member.
Well, I started out being inducted in Chicago and went from there to the basic training area in see what was at I was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and I took training at Fort Leonard, Missouri. That's why I started at Fort Leonard, Missouri, basic training. I also took my ERT training there as well.
All right, well, let's talk about this display. I'm sure you've seen it. Now, it started at Midway in 2022, and now at O'Hare, that started in 2023, and there are 55 portraits of veteran residents. Have you seen the family members of these veterans come and visit this beautiful display?
Yes, I heard that they have, and they have portraits of pictures here in Belmont of veterans as well, along with mine on the walls here.
Tell me, what was it like when you saw your picture, when you reflect on your time of service? What did you think when you saw yourself up there in that portrait?
Well, I was very impressed with it, the way they took the pictures. I enjoyed that, and I appreciate them doing that. And I talked to a lot of people who've been out there to see it, and it always congratulates me on that. So I think it's a great thing to do to honor the veterans in that way. I'm very grateful to be part of that and to have served.
Clarence, can you tell us the most important lesson that you learned while serving?
Learning how to deal with different people. After all my training and things like that, I was able to be in charge of a group of soldiers and able to counsel them. And I learned a lot from that just by in being involved with different groups of people and learning the different problems people have. And so that was a learning experience for me. I enjoyed it very much.
Well, Clarence, we want to keep talking to you. We have a few more questions for you. We definitely want to honor you and thank you on this Veterans Day. Don't go anywhere. We do have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Back. We are talking to Clarence Edward, who is a veteran. We're talking to him about these portraits that have been on display at Midway and also O'Hare. Clarence, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around with us. I want to ask you, what has it been like, because we do often hear, veterans talk about sometimes that they feel forgotten. What is it like to know that you have not been forgotten and, in fact, instead you're being honored?
It's a great feeling, and just to know that not being forgotten. And I always appreciate that when people walk up and say thank you for your service, and I'm glad to be honored to do that. My experience, in the military was great. I learned a lot. Got to be stationed in a lot of places overseas and in the States. The fun thing about it was the fact that I was able to go overseas and be stationed in places like Italy, Germany, and Korea. And while I was over there, I visited places like a little country called Liechtenstein. I was able to go to Switzerland, places like on vacations. And it's just great to be able to go overseas and see how different areas of the world is living.
I love that.
Clarence, I would love to piggyback off of Tia's question to you about being forgotten, coming back after serving. Do you have any tips or advice, life lessons for those who maybe are in the military now? Because sometimes I understand that people who serve have a difficult time transitioning back to being a civilian.
Well, that's when you get back, just stay involved. Visit the Veterans Administration, visit VFWs, visit different areas. They have, locations and stuff and groups of people that help you. So don't be shy to go get help or to ask for help, and get back with your friends. As for me, when I came back to the States, I was able to be stationed at Wheaton College here in Illinois at ROTC. So I never did feel alone. I just transitioned right on back into civilian life, basically still being in the Army at ROTC department for 3 years. And after getting out of that, I stayed involved with that. I'm retired now, but I still be involved with the students at Wheaton College and with the faculty and staff there. which is a great help to me. So you keep from being lonely and being alone. You need to just continue to be involved and get together with other veterans and other groups of people and continue to carry on with your life.
Clarence, I want you to go back in time with me for a second to a younger Clarence. What made you sign up and decide to join the military?
Well, I was part of the draft. The draft was ended and basically was almost over, but I was on the tail end of that when the draft being ended, and I got called in. And so at first I really was very worried about it. I thought I had it all made being a civilian, being at home in Chicago with my family. But once I got in there and got involved with it and found things to do, actually after being in 2 years, people were surprised to me that I re-enlisted for more time in the military. But I was stationed in great places and so forth. I was worried about, because the war was still going on in Vietnam. I had friends that went to Vietnam. And I was kind of worried about that, so was my family. But by the grace of God, I was able to get reassigned to places overseas. And the first place I got assigned to was Germany. And I was there for a few months. And then I got transferred to Italy. I had no idea there was army troops in Italy. So the personnel guy in Germany told me, oh, well, yes, you will find out that they are. So I went to Italy, and it was great. It was a beautiful assignment there. So that experience was great, and I'm glad that I ended up being glad that I was able to get into the military. I was called in to be in and have to serve.
Yeah, it sounds like quite an experience. You got to travel around the world. My question to you is, on this Veterans Day, maybe someone who's watching or listening doesn't know how to honor our veterans. As a veteran, how would you want us to honor you?
Well, this is great here. I mean, I'm doing, and I think the main thing that people need to do is you see a veteran, know the veteran, say, like you always did here, say thank you for your service, how much you appreciate it, and appreciate what you've done for us, because without that service, we would not be as free as we are today. The sacrifice that is made for us to have the freedom that we have here. And I think people need to remember the situation around the world and remember how well we have it here in this country. We're not perfect, but we're better off in a lot of other places. And we should be grateful for that. So my thing would be for us to thank people that are serving in the military, that has served and serving now. And just tell them how much you appreciate them.
Well, Clarence, Edward, we can't thank you enough and tell you enough how much we appreciate you, and thank you so much for your service, and thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning on Chicago Now. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, have a great day. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care of yourself. Okay, well, stay with us. We have much more coming up right here on Chicago Now. You heard Clarence talk about Italy. We're going to talk about the 2026 Olympics in Italy right after this break.
The Winter Olympics 2026 in northern Italy. This is going to be a very exciting event to watch. And we have Italy on PBS. This is called Dream of Italy. The host is here with us this morning. Thanks for joining us. This is Kathy McCabe.
Buongiorno.
Oh, buongiorno.
I just got back from Italy, so
Did you?
Like how long ago? Are we
a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
And I visited all the places I'm about to talk about.
Okay, well, let's dive in
Fresh
then.
from the source.
Oh, all right.
So in February, the Winter Olympic Games will be taking place February 6th to the 26th. All across northern Italy. This is the most geographically spread out Olympics in history. It's taking place in 4 regions.
Wow.
It starts in Milan, capital of fashion and design. The opening ceremonies are in the largest football stadium in Italy. The theme is Harmony, Armonia.
Wow.
And then the Milano Cortina comes from Cortina d'Ampezzo, which is in the Dolomite Mountains, those beautiful, beautiful mountains. And I just stayed at a beautiful...
We're seeing some pictures of it here, I think. Is this the hotel you stayed at?
Yes, Rosa Petra Spa Resort.
Okay.
Put it on
wait.
your bucket list. I think it was the best bathroom I've ever seen in my life. That's my bathroom. The best bathroom. Sorry, we're talking about the Olympics, but I love great hotels.
Yeah, I do too.
Also, so this is another one of the towns where there will be events. Bobsled, curling, downhill skiing. And then, yeah, so after you watch and you're cold, you can go into the hot tub.
Man.
And then there's a few other towns I could go through as well.
I have to ask you this. How in the heck did you get this assignment? This is the best assignment I've heard.
I made my own dream. I worked in TV and journalism, and my ancestors are from Italy. And 30 years ago, my mother and I went to find my ancestral hometown, and I fell in love, and it became a dream. And I started a magazine, and it turned into this PBS series.
No way.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like manifestation. You manifested
it is my heart and soul, and I will be going to the Olympics myself.
Of course.
Because I love it. I love Italy so much. So this is bringing athletes together, the world together. We could really use that.
How have you seen Italy prepare for this? So from what I understand, it's been years in the making.
It absolutely has. You know, they bid for these, and it takes years. But the really interesting thing is there was a 1956 Winter Olympics in Cortina, and 85% of the venues they're going to use are already built.
Oh.
So all over there's ski runs that they already have, facilities they already have in Milan and Cortina and these other towns. So they didn't have to start from scratch.
Was there anything that you saw that you were like, wow? This, aside from the hotel, that you're like, wow, this is absolutely remarkable, and I will never forget this.
You know, I feel like that almost every day in Italy. So I think the Dolomites, in Cortina, they are some of the most beautiful mountains you've ever seen. They just thousands of years in the making, and some of the views, I think, whether you're able to go in person or watch on TV, it is going to be something really special. Have
you talked to Italians about how they feel about everyone coming to their beautiful country for the Olympics? You know, it's gonna be popping, busy. You said it's spread out, a lot of different people.
I actually think they're excited.
Okay.
And these are the areas that have not had over tourism. You know how we've heard about some of the cities being too crowded. These are some of like Livigno and Bormio, where some of the other venues are. You haven't heard of these places, so you're going to learn about them, and I think it's going to bring a great opportunity for people to go up into the mountains and explore that Italian alpine culture.
Well, let's talk about, you know, everybody looks forward to the first night, right? Opening ceremony, and where is all of that going to happen? And did you get to visit literally like kind of like the itinerary?
I went right into San Siro Stadium. It's the largest soccer stadium in Italy. I actually have tickets. I'm going to go to the opening ceremony, 60,000 attendees. And then since this is so spread out, the closing ceremony is actually in Verona, another beautiful city, in the Arena, which is the largest open air amphitheater in the world.
Wow.
What is like the travel time to some of these places?
This is the thing. There's hours. There's hours in between. So you really have to plan. So each place has maybe 3 events. In Milan, it's figure skating, ice hockey, speed skating. So it's going to be something logistically, but they're preparing. They're really well prepared.
Okay, speaking of being
got so many
prepared,
questions.
I know. I want to know, how are they going to do it different? You know they have to put their own spin on it. Can you give us the secret?
First of all, let's just start with the food.
Okay, yes.
Just
the pasta.
food.
Did you bring us something? Oh,
Let's
I
go.
brought, I didn't bring you food, but I brought you Olympic pins.
Oh, wow, thank you.
These are our very own Dream of Italy Milano Cortina.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Olympic pin. And if you haven't been to an Olympics,
they're
it's
cute.
all about pin trading.
This is
So
so
every
pretty.
sport has one, every sponsor has one, and you have a lanyard and everyone
Put some on there. You're
little
right.
red
everyone
Yeah.
trades. I have mine on. You can come to dreamofitaly.com and get your own.
Cute.
So I'm really excited about it. The Olympics bring the world together, and the Italians, they do everything better than everyone else.
I love it. Okay, on that note, we have to take a quick break, but we want to talk more about this.
Okay.
Yeah, so if our viewers are watching right now, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
When you save
Welcome back. Kathy McCabe is with us. We're talking about all things Dream of Italy on PBS. And this is just in time for the Olympics, the 2026 Winter Olympics there. I got to ask you, when we talk about this, people may be watching right now and think, man, I do want to put this on my bucket list, but I don't want to wait. I want to plan this now. Are there hotels? What is the airfare like? Can you actually affordably attend some of the games?
You can, and I'm here just in time because another set of tickets are going on sale tomorrow, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Go to Milano Cortina 2026.org. Tickets start at about $40, but then they go up to thousands. And of course, figure skating, you know, some of them are, the opening ceremony is very expensive, the closing ceremony, but you can go to curling, you can go to speed skating. Some of the early ice hockey games are much less expensive. In terms of hotels, places to stay, you can check out Airbnb. They have an actual microsite, just if you look for the Olympics, that has all of the places.
I love that.
Because there's like 7, 8, 9 places across northern Italy, so you can see what's still for rent. If you come to dreamofitaly.com, we have a list of places that still have availability. I stayed in 2 great hotels in Milan I can recommend. One is called Casa Brivio, one is called the Nemi Hotel. And then people are renting out their places. You can do all kinds of creative things.
I have a question. So let's say a family wants to go and they want to hit a couple of these events, but they don't want that to be their whole Italy trip. Northern Italy, what else should people see? What's on the have-to-do list?
You know, this is something amazing. This February Olympics coincides with Carnivale, where you could go to Venice. If you want to really get dressed up and enjoy it. There's also an amazing beachside town in Tuscany called Viareggio. They do huge puppets and floats for Carnivale. So winter in Italy is hopping. People think it's, you know, off season, but there's a lot going on. You can see the Last Supper in Milan, the Duomo. You could take a train down to Florence just for a couple of hours away.
This was not your first time in Italy, was it?
No.
I get the impression.
This is probably my 70th.
Yeah, because I can tell based on what you're
Vacation
saying.
house there, yeah.
If you were to tell somebody like must-do things in Italy, what would be on that must-do list if you could go do the Olympics, do maybe some of the games, and include, like Caitlin was saying, Italy in your trip?
I truly believe that some of the places that you've heard of your whole lives are places you need to see. Venice, I think everyone needs to see it at least once in their life. It looks like a different world. And I have to tell you, I've been in the winter and the light is just beautiful. Florence for the art and the Uffizi, the Tuscan countryside. I also love the sea. You can do, you know, the Amalfi Coast, Puglia on the other side, Sicily. There's 4,000 miles of coastline in Italy, so it's a really Italian experience to go to the beach, to see the sea, to have seafood. I mean, of course, in the winter, that's a little bit off season, but it's still beautiful.
Oh, of course.
Cinque Terre wouldn't be so far away also. It's also in northern Italy. And that would be the time to go because it's so crowded in the summer.
Okay, so my question is, piggybacking off of this, that sounds very intimidating to me to plan a trip to Italy. Do you have any advice, because you've been there so many times, of who people should talk to or plan their trip with to make it doable?
So you can actually contact Dream of Italy. We do travel planning.
Oh, no way.
We do, but I'd also, you know, no matter who you're going with, don't try to do too much.
Okay.
Don't, I always say stay at least 3 days somewhere. Don't try to run around.
Oh.
You want to hope that you'll go back another time in life. So I would say really savor the places you go and try to pick and choose. That's the #1 mistake people make. They try to do too much. And I have to tell you, ladies, magical things happen in Italy when you leave just a little free time.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet, where you're going to go, what kind of shopping you're going to find.
You fall in love.
I was going to say that. I must ask, because when we think of winter around here in February, we think of bubble coats and gloves. Is it the same?
I mean, in the mountains, certainly, but no, it can be fairly mild.
Okay.
And I remember I spent one January in Florence, and it was unusually sunny and warm. I just had the lightest jacket on. So it's definitely warmer than Chicago.
Okay, so give us the details about your show. When does it start? When can we watch it?
Well, we have a new season. We have another season that we're going to produce next year.
Okay.
But you can watch 3 seasons and 2 specials at pbs.org or our YouTube channel, Dream of Italy. And by the way, I also have another show called Dream of Europe.
Oh.
That premiered last year.
Look at you. Congrats.
Thank you very much. I love it all. I just love to go. And you know, there's plenty of, Chicago's a great city to get good airfares because it's a major hub. And I looked it up. There's still some good fares for February. And if you go even a little like end of January.
What's the ballpark?
You can
what are we
get
talking?
some really good fares. I'd say like 700-800 or some round trip or some of the better ones that I saw. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is
and it's a good chance to use miles too.
Yeah.
Not have to spend hundreds of thousands of miles.
Well, plan your trip, everybody.
So fun.
Yeah, Kathy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for
I
coming
love
on.
nothing more
And
than
our
to
pins.
talk Italy and
I love our
pins.
pins. They are so cute.
Have fun.
I will. I'll report in.
Yes.
We'll have to have you literally.
Have me on, please.
We will. That'll be
because
fun.
it is. I'll tell you, it's a wonderful event. I went 20 years ago to Torino.
Wow.
And you really feel like you're part of something bigger.
Yes. And what a way to celebrate winter, you know?
Yep, we'll have you back. I look forward to having you back during that time. Stay with us right here on Chicago Now. We have much more after this really quick break. Chicago Now. It is 10:43 on your Tuesday, as we just roll on through hump day. We're getting there, right?
That's
okay,
right.
We got to talk about, this is the time of year, I think, where a lot of people start thinking about the new year and dieting and trying to get healthier. And this is a diet for diabetic patients specifically. A new study says a plant-based diet can lower insulin costs and use by 28%. And we're talking about this with Serena Poon, a certified nutritionist and longevity wellness advisor. Hopefully I got your last name right. Did I get it right, Serena? Oh, yay me. I'm so happy that I did. I hate botching people's names. Thank you so much for being with us. We want to talk about this diet and how it can help people manage if they have diabetes at the same time.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I mean, this study was great. I mean, it was a 12-week randomized trial, and it found that a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, actually really helped people reduce not just their insulin levels, but also the costs. So, you know, what it does is it shows us that insulin resistance, which is how well our tissues respond to, let's say, when people have to inject insulin for people who have type 1 diabetes, that the reduction in that insulin suggests that the plant-based diet, a lower fat diet, and a diet that's rich in phytochemicals and antioxidants and inflammatory benefits can actually enhance insulin sensitivity. So it's really great, and you know, you're lowering costs all around, so people don't have to spend as much in medication, and it's actually costs less to buy vegetables than it does to buy animal protein.
That's so interesting. So I don't know too much about, you know, the ins and outs of diabetes, the shoulds and should nots, but it makes sense that vegetables would assist in anybody's health, really. Is this new science? Is this new research that's being done?
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's new. I mean, I've been in practice for 26 years now. Dare I say, I just said it, and now it's out there. But I've been in practice for a really long time, and you know, the effects of diet and lifestyle is the largest impact when it comes to all-cause mortality, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes. So for those who don't understand or know what type 1 diabetes is, people with type 1 diabetes, they need to take insulin because their bodies, they don't produce enough of it naturally. And what insulin is it's a hormone that moves glucose, which is sugar, from our bloodstream into like our muscles and our liver, where it can then be used for energy. So for the people who have type 1 diabetes, they can't really make it naturally, so they can't do that. And so I wouldn't say that this is brand new science. I would just say that it is, it's another study that's showing us that we are completely empowered to take control of our health, and we have it at our fingertips.
In terms of diet for people that have diabetes, would you say that vegetables are more necessary for somebody that has diabetes versus any other foods that are out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would absolutely say that a diet that's higher in vegetables, and I often talk about eating the rainbow because I feel like it's the simplest way to really remember what you need to do. And it's just try to eat all the colors of the rainbow when we're talking about the fruits and the vegetables that you're putting into your plate, onto your plate, into your meal. Because what dietary fat, and particularly animal-based dietary fat does is it really plays a major role when it comes to insulin resistance, because higher levels of fat can actually make it harder for glucose to enter the cells effectively. So the higher the levels of dietary saturated fats, particularly from animals, the harder it is for that energy to go into our cells. And when it comes to plant-based diets, you know, it's science-backed. There's so many benefits to either a more plant-forward, so vegan as in plant-based, or plant-forward, plant-rich, because it's very good for blood sugar, energy, longevity. Studies have shown that phytochemicals, omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, and particularly fiber that are found in, you know, plants, vegetables, fruits, or legumes even, they're linked to better blood sugar balance. And all of that contributes to overall energy, increased energy, and overall longevity.
I have a question. So help me understand this. What would be the difference between being plant-based versus vegan?
So it's kind of the same, you know. There's like all these different terms. It's some people. So I look at plant-based as a more diet-focused approach to how you would describe the lifestyle. For people who, you know, some people who call themselves vegans, it's more than just the diet. You know, they don't use animal products at all. They might not use leather. They use vegan leather, synthetic leather. They don't use any type of animal products or byproducts, and that would probably fall into the term of vegan a little bit more. When I say plant-based or plant-focused, I'm really talking much more about your diet, you know, like what you're eating, what you're putting into your body in terms of food and beverages. And so it seems to soften it up a little bit. I'll be honest, I say I'm vegan. It's just kind of easier to encapsulate my lifestyle, but I have purses that are leather, you know, I have shoes that are leather, so I am not the full definition in that sense, but in terms of my diet,
Maybe you're speaking to someone who's watching and thinking, yeah, I like vegetables, but I also am worried about my protein intake. Is tofu the only option? Obviously not, but can you give us some tips or ideas of how to create protein-rich vegetable meals?
Absolutely. So there's actually a lot of protein in non-animal based foods, and we're just not really aware of it. So even kale, romaine, broccoli, all of these vegetables actually have protein in it. So tofu is one way. Tofu, tempeh. I actually personally don't do a lot of soy products, so I don't do a lot of tofu unless, you know, I know it's organic and non-GMO and from particular sources. But nuts, so nuts and grains and seeds, they're actually really high in fiber, which again, you know, high fiber intake from whole plant foods really helps to slow glucose absorption, and it actually helps with that glycemic spike. You know, people wear those CGMs, those continuous glucose monitors. It really helps with that. So you can have lentils, for example. Lentils and beans and hummus, those are so rich in protein. So instead of snacking on, you know, chips or fries and, you know, I'll be honest, I like my fries, but I love hummus. So for me, almost daily, my snacks are like some crudité. So whether you have whatever's around, you know, cucumbers, carrots, anything that you have around in terms of raw vegetables, and hummus. And you can put all kinds of different seasonings in hummus. And, you know, instead of like chili that's made with ground beef or ground turkey, you can have it with lentils or beans. Dal is something great. Stir fry is something really great. People love edamame, and that's another really great snack instead of reaching for like cheese, you know, cheese and like cold cuts or something like that. And you can also, you know, throw a little bit of hemp seed in kind of everything. You know, instead of sprinkling salt, you can sprinkle some hemp seeds, and those hemp seeds are very rich in healthy fats, protein, and also fiber. So that's like a great like garnish you can have in the kitchen.
All right. Well, Serena, we want you to stay with us for a second. We do have to take a break. If people are watching right now, go ahead and get your pen and pad so you can write some of this stuff down. We'll be right back.
The Chicago
Welcome back, 10:53. We are talking with Serena Poon. She's a certified nutritionist and longevity wellness advisor, and she's telling us that if you do have diabetes, one thing that may help you is to have a plant-based diet. And we just went through different protein options that you can sprinkle into your plant-based diet to get that balance. If people want, let's take it a step further, some different maybe recipes, or maybe even as a nutritionist you have new tips or research coming in the future, where should people go for that information? Do you have a social media account? Do you have a specific maybe resource that people could visit?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for asking. So we have a ton of recipes on our website and so much information. This is the type of thing we talk about all the time. My social media is Chef Serena Poon, so at Chef Serena Poon, and that's Instagram is probably our most active account, and also on Twitter. And then the website is serenaloves.com. So Serena Loves, for all the things that I love.com, and you'll find tons of recipes on there.
Serena, I must ask you, because when I was vegan for a little while.
Me too.
And I will be honest, I just could not figure out long term how to make things taste different. I felt like everything I made tasted just like the last thing I made. And it was like almost like, I don't want to say boring, but I did feel like it was boring. What do you tell people that, you know, maybe they do want to be healthy, but let's face it, some of the bad stuff tastes really good. How do they make some of, you know, the healthier things taste better? What would be just a tip that you would give people that maybe want to start cooking plant-based?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that question, because it's such a great question. And it's funny, before my partner became plant-based, he actually thought the exact same thing, that vegan food is boring and it can't taste good. I have to tell you that, you know, when you're, first of all, choose really great ingredients, you know, like don't skimp on yourself. Choose those organic products because they taste better, their flavor profile is just naturally better. And one of the secrets that I use is dressed like vinaigrettes. So you can make vinaigrettes that are great for not just salads, they're great for marinades, they're great as like just a little sauce if you want to put it on steamed vegetables like that, and you can make all kinds of different vinaigrettes. That is it's something from like culinary school. It's like a staple that I have because you can use them in so many different ways. And then there's all kinds of seasonings. So, you know, we tend to just kind of reach for what's in the cupboard, and a lot of the times that's helpful, but as you said, it can get really boring. You can use your ingredients as seasonings in a way. So when you're at the store, you know, you're looking at the fresh stuff, but there's also dehydrated like fruits and vegetables, and when they're crushed up into a powder, they're actually great as seasonings, and especially if you have kids. So there's a way that I can hide vegetables and fruits is when you have like these freeze-dried, and they are fresh, you know, they're freeze-dried. Frozen berries are also a great way. You can throw that into smoothies, as you know, but you can use those berries as like a base for a vinaigrette, you know, if you like a sweeter type of vinaigrette. So kind of like it depends on like what your flavor profile is, but used fruits and vegetables as kind of a base. So when you're, rather than making an Italian vinaigrette with just a whole bunch of oil and dried seasonings, you can use some oil. You can blend up some berries. You can blend up some citrus. Something that I love is kumquats. I don't know if you guys like kumquats. But that's like, oh my gosh, so good. And you can put it on anything. And for the people who like, who do eat animal protein in your family, it's great on fish, on chicken, on everything.
What is a kumquat? Wait a second. What is that? Is it a vegetable? It's a vegetable?
It's a little citrus. So citrus is like another little secret ingredient because it also breaks things down and it can and make it tender, whether you're using animal proteins or you're using like tougher vegetables. So kumquats are these like little citrus, they're just fruit. And they're little citrus fruit, and you can even eat the skin. So you can just stick it in a blender with a little bit of oil, drizzle it in like you would if you were making a pesto, and you can put in you can put in a little bit of an acid, so a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You might want to put a little bit of like allulose to kind of temper that tartness, but that's great. So citrus-based vinaigrettes are also another great way to kind of like spice up the different flavor profiles for vegetables or proteins if you have a mixed group there.
You've
so that might be
us. You've educated us.
Mental notes.
Yeah, on a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. I know, we got to wrap it up. If there's anything that you could leave us with, maybe someone who is nervous about trying the vegan or veggie-based diet, what would you say?
5 seconds.
I would say just start slow. Just add a little bit more vegetables in at a time. You don't have to go, complete vegan or complete plant-based. Just add more. Make like 2/3 of your plate vegetables.
2/3, you guys.
I love it.
Lean toward veg.
Rainbow. Yeah. Rainbow on the plate.
Rainbow veggies.
All right, Chef Serena Poon, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on our show today.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you next time. All right. It has been a pleasure doing this hour of Chicago Now.
Fun.
I'm going to just slide to the right, have a little cha-cha slide here, and I'll be in this seat for the 11 o'clock hour. This was fun. Thanks for having me on with you.
You just ordered a coffee. What did you get?
I ordered chai tea latte.
Oh, yum. Yes. That sounds delicious. All right, you guys.
All right. Stick around for the next hour. Gabriella Primus will be sitting down with me. We'll be right back.
I'm with Tia Ewing. I'm Gabriella Primus, now sitting in for Caitlin Cody. That was a good 10 o'clock hour. You guys got through a lot of different subjects. Taking a look at the bean.
We were watching someone
yesterday.
We were people watching, and it's this young man that goes around Chicago, the suburbs, and he records himself out there for a little while dancing. And he was out there having a good time to kick off that 10 o'clock hour, and then he vanished. So we were having fun watching him.
Why don't we find him online and actually bring him in? That'd be kind of fun.
We should. Huh? We actually should. I follow him online. I was trying to find him through, I think it's something dance, and I couldn't track him down.
You know what? There's so many people doing creative things online.
It really is a lot of people.
Let's talk about what's coming up, Tia. A couple of teases for you. Chicago's first mental health urgent care is now open in River North. Obviously, this is going to be much needed. Yeah. I've never heard of anything like this coming up, especially in the Chicagoland area. So we're talking to co-founders to learn more about its services. Also, a local foundation is keeping the arts alive in Chicago. They're joining us in studio to break down their efforts. But first, we're talking about some trending stories, including talking about holiday parties. But first, the top 10 highest paying blue collar jobs.
This one kind of made me mad because I feel like had I known this was going to be a thing, maybe I would have had a different career path, because money does matter. I don't care what people say. How much money you make does matter. You want to love your job, but you also want to make a decent amount of money doing it too.
It's more popular, and I'm glad that it's in the spotlight because a lot of people, I mean, think about how much college is 10 years ago, 5 years ago versus today, and it's only going to go up. So I'm glad it's in the spotlight because not everyone has the parent or person in their life that you can follow in their footsteps and truly understands what it is to go to college.
Or afford it.
Or afford it, exactly.
This makes me hope that some of these high schools in our area are thinking about bringing back the trades, because I remember there was a time where you could go to a Chicago public school and pick up a trade, you graduate, and you have a great job. So we got to run down the list, and this list is really incredible to me. Let's start with number 10, solar installer. So that's someone that goes out there and installs solar panels. You have to have a high school diploma for this. The median salary is anywhere between $51,000 and some change, but some of the top 10% of earners get around $80,000 there.
And I will say, with that title, solar photo.
I didn't even try to say it.
I mean, but it sounds cool, right? So not only are you making good money, but you're also having a really cool sounding title. And also electrician, number 9. I mean, that's one that we hear a lot. Requires, of course, a diploma and often a paid apprenticeship. Median salary $62,000 to $106K. That's pretty good.
That's a really big one too. Between the solar and electrician, those are huge right now. So yeah, don't count them out. I know sometimes women, when they're dating, you know, they hear somebody, they meet somebody, and the guy's like, I'm an electrician. They're like, that's not a good enough job for me.
Finance?
Don't be hoity-toity. That job could come with some big bucks, especially if he ends up owning the company. I'm just giving you some love advice.
Speaking of number 7, I want to mention, because I know we're skipping number 8, which is wind turbine technician. You can't be afraid of heights, obviously, with that. But a plumber, pipe fitter, or steam fitter install and repair systems that move water, gas, chemicals. I mean, that's well known. Top 10% of earners can get $105K. But like you said, yes, if you own your own business,
you
which
never know.
I have a friend in high school, you guys. I mean, I have some people who are doing great things in my class of literally 32, because in South Dakota.
That was a small school.
Super small.
Yeah.
And this guy owns his own plumbing business and is making bank. I mean, he's doing really well. He took advantage of what he was good at, what maybe his parents were doing. And instead of looking and thinking, I have to go to the best university, you know, I need the clout, he decided to go into trades.
Not the clout. Yeah, sometimes we do get caught up in that. You know, the university, you know, is it prestigious? Is it a, you know, a Big Ten? Is it, all of that. Okay, we got to go to number 5, stationary engineer or a boiler operator. This is a person that maintains the heating, air conditioning, and power systems in big buildings and plants. On the low end, $75,000. On the high end, $121,000. And then this one, we have a lot of people doing this in our area.
Yeah, we do.
Working the railroads.
Of course, yeah. Medium salary for that is $75K to $100K. Requires a high school diploma and on-the-job training, of course. But that might be, you know, there's a lot of jobs, especially here in Chicagoland, like you said.
Yeah.
Might be a little easier to get into instead of finding an apprenticeship, etc.
This next one, I like the way it sounds. Aircraft avionics, equipment mechanic and technician. On the low end, $79,000. On the high end, $120,000. Imagine you being, you know, you're coming straight out of high school, because some of these literally just require a high school diploma and some, you know, on-the-job training, and you're making $100,000. I mean, that's setting your life up for success, depending on how, you know, what you plan to do with that in the future.
Big time. And this will always be needed. Electrical power line installer and repairer. Service the nation's power grid, medium salary, $92 to $126.
Now this one I have heard, because I met a young lady who, born and raised in Chicago, her father owns an elevator company, and once he, you know, got older, he passed it on to her, and she was telling me how much they made an hour because she decided to go learn it. And I was like, why would you want to work on an elevator? She was like, let me tell you how much this job pays an hour, and it changed my perspective. Elevator and escalator technicians, this is to install and maintain elevators and escalators. And honestly, even on the high end, this is kind of low, because I remember this conversation with her vividly.
Wow.
$106,000 on the low end, on the high end, $149,000. Now, if you are in a position where you're getting paid hourly and you have that position, you can make even more money, because as you know, we've seen elevators in this building go down. They're down for a few days. And the person's still working, so you can really make some money.
It's needed. You have plenty of work, because sometimes it takes a while to get someone in that profession to actually make it to the building, get the parts, you know, whatever it might be. But this is a great topic of conversation. Gen Zers are looking at blue-collar jobs, which is good. So maybe your grandparent at home, maybe your guardian, parent, whoever, or maybe you're a young person, CPS is off school.
Not too late.
Think about the trades.
Yeah, think about the trade. Okay, coming up, we got to talk about something interesting. We talked about Butterball's hotline for the turkey, right? How to figure out how to make it. If you're doing it wrong, you can call them up. Well, now Topgolf, they have a holiday helpline as well. We're going to talk about it. Stay with us right after this break.
Corporation.
have you think of some of your last jobs and some of the holiday parties. Is there any of them that went truly tragic?
When I had a job and we did the holiday party?
Yeah. Was there any like awkward situations or like weird nuances that went on?
No, none that I can think of. I did go to a holiday party one time and I got stuck in a section. I won't tell that story. I'm gonna change my mind on that story.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting.
You can call the Topgolf Holiday Help Hotline if you want to share it. Topgolf wants you to share your office holiday party flops for a chance for a do-over.
I'm sorry, I'm so focused on what happened at this holiday party.
I even have a couple. We're going to wait for the minute commercial break to go.
So you're going to call them and tell them what?
It's hearing some of the worst stories. 25 winners will get a $2,500 Topgolf event credit to cover food, drinks, and 2 hours of playtime. You have until December 15th to submit your story. So pretty much you have a horrible holiday party gone wrong, and you can submit it to Topgolf. So you can text Holiday Help, so keep this in mind, Holiday Help, to 68633, and you'll get a link to submit your story. It's easy. You could probably just look it up online too. You can read the submissions, which will be posted anonymously, so you don't have to worry about, hey, your story's all over the internet and soon being shared with your boss. Some are already posted. One person said their company required everyone to wear holiday-themed socks instead of sweaters.
That's cute.
Think about it, though. During the party, one of the managers sat on the couch to judge, so everyone got in line to show off their socks one by one. That would be, okay.
It's a little awkward, but it's cute.
Yeah, for the first like 5, but we have, how many people do we have at the station?
Yeah, but you wouldn't do that for a big company. You know, when I think of a tragic holiday party, I think of like the boss getting, this has not happened, but this is where my mind goes. I think of like you working somewhere, a person in charge of HR or the boss gets drunk and they say, yeah, Johnny's going to be fired.
That's what I thought at first too. But
now that is
it's post-COVID, things I think are a little bit different. But pretty much they said that was really awkward. Another person says their company hyped up their holiday party for several weeks and it was canceled the morning of due to scheduling conflicts. There was no backup plan.
So they canceled the holiday party altogether? That's awful. If you were expecting to go?
I hope these are two very top contenders for the 25 winners. But again, you can text Holiday Help to 68633. Or you know what? If it's really that interesting, just send it on over to Chicago Now.
I got to ask you, because I know this is on the negative end of things. I want to stay on the positive end of things. That's why I didn't tell my story, because it was bad. What's the best holiday party you've ever gone to?
Best holiday party I've ever gone to? Well, you know, like the start of my career, it was COVID, really. You know, so we weren't really getting together or anything like that.
Mine was our last holiday party. I thought it was really fun.
It was, yeah.
It was a really good time,
weren't we?
Yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed our last holiday. Actually, we've had some pretty good holiday parties around here.
But I do have advice for bosses watching everywhere. Okay, instead of like multiple little gifts that you can give someone, you know, that are just like tchotchke kind of things, why don't you give just like one nice piece of something, like a Yeti cup? A Yeti cup with your branding on there, or a Starbucks gift card,
or it doesn't even have to be Starbucks. It could be some of our local businesses. Support local.
Yeah, something like
thoughtful.
That. Exactly.
Yeah,
Can they hear me out? I mean, I think so.
Who?
Right? Anyone.
You're not getting me caught up in this.
Anyone. I'm saying
you're not singling anybody out.
Yeah, I'm not singling anyone out.
I agree.
I'm just saying it's a good idea.
I agree with that. Okay, we got to talk about this. We got to get off this topic. We got to talk about this. People are booking more foodcations. Have you ever thought about that? Like you're going to go somewhere strictly to do like a food hop?
Actually, my brother is just getting back from one.
And where did he go?
His girlfriend went to Japan and Korea.
Now that's cool.
She's Korean, so it makes sense. She's a little more familiar, but mostly he's such a foodie that he wanted to go there and just like straight up eat the entire time.
So the itinerary was based solely off of where they were going to eat.
On some of their favorite places.
What do you make of that? Would you do that?
Because Chicago is such a foodie place.
You could do it here.
There's so many restaurants, like even just in the West Loop where I'm living right now, it's so overwhelming that like how could I get through all of them? It would be a perfect place. You can hit pretty much all of the different kinds of food really in one spot here.
So you could do like a food staycation. In Chicago, and just hop around in different pockets of different neighborhoods. I find
healthy, but it'd be fun.
Well, it depends though. I mean, based on the lady that we spoke to, the nutritionist, in the 10 o'clock hour, you could do plant-based. You know, you could do a one weekend in Chicago strictly plant-based. We have enough restaurants. What? Why the face?
We do, but that just doesn't sound like fun.
What, plant-based?
No, okay.
Some of this plant-based food is really good.
Hold on, I'm not bashing.
Okay.
Plant-based, but you know, I like a little bit of grease in my life.
Some of it does have, you know, different things that are from the
out.
plants that makes it
Nothing's gonna be healthy in my
greasy.
station.
You wouldn't do a healthy one?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, a recent Talker research survey found 1 in 5 people have planned a trip just for the food. Some top destinations includes our city, Chicago for the deep dish, Philadelphia for the cheesesteak, New York City for their style of pizza, and Central Texas for Texas style barbecue. Now, I will say one weekend, this is the true story. One weekend, my husband and I, we had gone to Dallas, Texas. There's this pastor that we know who owns this huge church. Part of the church has a restaurant. And the restaurant has a sweet tea that I have never tasted anything like it in my life.
Really?
To this day, nobody's sweet tea tastes like this tea. Oh my goodness, I can taste it right now.
Really?
Anyway, so
what's different about it than a normal sweet tea?
I can't explain it. I tried to tell the people at the church, I'm like, you guys are making this in your restaurant. You need to bottle this stuff up. People across the world, yes, it tastes like heaven in a sip. I don't know how to describe it. And I'm not a huge sweet tea person. I drink, you know, McDonald's sweet tea, but that's blah compared to this sweet tea.
Really?
This is on a whole nother level. So anyway, one Friday, and I had the Friday off. We were sitting around and I was like, man, I would love some of that sweet tea from the church. And he was like, how bad do you want it? I was like, bad enough to get on a plane. And we literally, the flights were like dirt cheap. We literally booked a flight to go taste this sweet tea. I think the tickets were like $70 round trip for me, 70 for him. And we literally went just to get sweet tea. It was so good.
Too bad you can't take liquids on the plane.
It was so, I know.
You need like at least a little hint of what makes it so special. Like
so $150
the rest
to go get some sweet tea.
You know what?
I mean, we got other things.
$150 well spent, I feel like. And you probably visited with your friends.
Yeah, whatever. We did. It was a good time. And our friend has a farm, so we got to go play with his farm animals and all this. It was a really good time. It was fun.
Have you ever had someone bring you food like on the plane, like from, like, you know, you've worked in different markets. There's probably something that maybe like it's just extra special and they bring it with you. I don't know.
No, you know what? Nobody's ever done that, but I will be honest. I personally, as the person on the plane, I hate when people do that because sometimes like I'm sitting next to you and I gotta smell these onions off your cheesesteak the whole flight.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not gonna eat that? You're not
no, do not sit next to me. But or like the person that opens, you know, the Chicago style hot dog on the flight somewhere. And it never tastes the same.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't.
I asked that because I have some cousins who are really big fans of In-N-Out, and they've had people actually. See, I'm glad you like In-N-Out too. I love it as well. I say cousins, it's me.
I love it protein style.
Protein style. Oh yeah.
Wrapped in that lettuce. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's good. And
we could go to Vegas for that, by the way.
We could. You're right. It's that easy. It's that easy. I'll be looking at flights. You know, and I'm glad you appreciate it because I know there's some controversy. Thank you.
It's okay.
On whether In-N-Out is worth it or not. A lot of people think it's not, but man, I think it's the bomb.com. But maybe it's like nostalgic for me because I grew up eating it. I don't know, but I do have some cousins who will literally ask others to bring it with them to the Midwest.
I could taste it with that melted cheese and those grilled onions on that protein style burger meshed in between those 2 pieces of lettuce.
You know you can get like a 10 by 10. You can get like as many patties as you want. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can get like a 10 by 10. Flying Dutchman, the next time you go there, do you like onions?
I do. I love onions.
It's like a fried onion, like just fried to the perfect, the perfect time as the patty. I mean, as the bun. Instead of protein style, then you have the onion as the bun.
Oh, wow. That's probably really good. No, I've never heard of that. That must be some
with pepper
secret
cheese, yeah. Anyway, I'm starving, obviously.
We're going down a food fantasy.
Yeah, we got the stage ramming over here. We have a lot more to get to. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome to
welcome back to Chicago Now.
Yes, we're taking another look at the bean here. Nice, beautiful day. Can you believe it's going to be 60 degrees later on this week?
This is craziness.
That is crazy. We're like in a whirlwind right now.
Look, 64 Saturday.
Wow.
62
we
Sunday.
can just pull up the 7-day forecast just like that.
I
Wow.
know. We got a lot to get through to get there. Okay, we got to talk about this because this is really exciting. Chicago's first mental health urgent care is opening up in River North. You've heard of urgent care. Maybe you have a cold or something like that, and you go to urgent care to try to figure out what's wrong with you. But this is a little bit different. It's a much needed facility. We always talk about mental health in our community. There's not enough resources. This is now a resource. We have co-founders Jenya Yavankin with us and Holly Branchaft-White. They're here to tell us more about this. It is called Shift. Is that right?
Shift, yep.
Shift.
Cool name.
What made you come up with this, and tell us who can get help from this?
Sure. So Shift Behavioral Health is the first urgent care for mental health here in Chicago. We are very, very excited. We just opened last week on the 3rd, and we are serving young people ages 10 to 30 and families. And the need really came from, Jenya and myself, we have about 20 years combined experience in behavioral health. For the last 10 years, I've worked in emergency departments and saw that there is a tremendous gap between being able to access care kind of in the moment, immediately, without necessarily having to go to the emergency room. You know, a lot of needs don't rise to that level of acuity or concern, so we're excited.
So is that where people would go if they were having a mental health emergency, wanted to seek help? Would they go to the emergency room?
Yes, oftentimes they do. You know, families could self-refer, certainly school counselors refer, or outpatient therapists refer. You know, if there's a flag that's coming up with a young person where they are concerned for their well-being and feel like, you know, I really need to get some other eyes on this young person just to make sure that they're safe. Oftentimes emergency departments are the kind of primary care space, I would argue, for this kind of need, and we're excited to be introducing something a little bit different.
I love this because sometimes you may emotionally feel overwhelmed. I know, at least in most people's circumstances, with your insurance and things like that, there's hotlines that you call, right? But it's not that face-to-face contact. Tell me how this works. I come to you, maybe I'm having a mental crisis, I need to talk to somebody, I need to figure it out. Maybe at some point I may even need medication. What happens when I walk through your doors?
Sure.
So Shift is walk-in, schedule ahead. We're open 7 days a week, and you can come in for any concern. It could be a crisis assessment. It could be just a parent wanting to chat about something happening with their child. It could be a young adult just, you know, in college experiencing stress. You come in and you're able to see somebody right away. We have a team of licensed clinicians, psychiatric nurse practitioners who can help evaluate, who can do safety checks, treatment plans, diagnostics, all of that. So our team is fully equipped to handle anything that walks through our doors. With the exception of harm to self, harm to others, we always say, folks, you should still go to the emergency department. We are not equipped to handle that.
Yeah, well, I'm impressed. And I read earlier that there's no wait list or long intake process, which I know is, you know, usually half the battle. But how were you guys able to accommodate that, especially once you're more well-known, you know, people are going to be probably flooding to you?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. You know, we have a really solid team right now, and we're kind of operating under offering more of like a brief model of care, so focusing on the assessment piece, triaging needs. We do offer outpatient therapy, but kind of as a whole, our model is based on getting people in, evaluating what needs that they have, and either referring out into the community or keeping them internally, and working on identifying some goals and kind of walking them through the therapeutic process. And so it's essentially a little bit of a shorter term sort of model.
Wow. You know, one thing that I think is intimidating for some people that may have mental health battles is, how do I pay for this, right? Insurance, do you take insurance? How do they pay for the cost? How does that work at your facility?
That's a great question. As a new model of care, we did start out as a direct pay model. Our prices are listed on our website. We try to keep everything simple, very transparent, no surprises. So when you're coming in a crisis, you don't have to worry about, how am I going to pay for this ED visit? What sort of surprise bills am I going to have? what is this going to mean for my family. We're very, very transparent. We try to keep prices as low as possible. We do provide super bills, so if you do have insurance, we give you a super bill, you can get reimbursed as an out-of-network provider, and we also accept HSA, FSA. And we are actively exploring other vehicles through which we could support people who cannot afford our care, but still early days for that. But we hope to be able to serve as many individuals in Chicago as we can as we grow.
Yeah, again, still early, but I mean, just what was it, 3rd you said is when you officially opened? How have things been so far? What kind of reaction have you gotten from the community?
Yeah, it's been so good. We've had so many phone calls, just people wanting to explore what we offer, ask questions, parents that have asked kind of what it would look like if they scheduled with us. A lot of people in the community, we've had school counselors feel really excited. You know, I think a lot of care providers in different capacities are trying to address this need, and it can be really overwhelming to sort of manage some safety concerns, and so we've just had a lot of positive reception for what we're building. It's exciting.
We do want to talk further with you about this. We do have to take a quick break.
Sure.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Now. We are talking to the co-founders, Jinya and also Holly. They created this new facility called Shift. First of all, the name alone is very trendy. It catches your ears. What made you come up with that name for this?
Thank you so much. Shift Behavioral Health. It really just came, you know, I worked in hospitals, so that was a little bit of the influence, just thinking about hospital shifts. But really, we felt excited about a name that would kind of signal a shift in mindset, shift in perspective, shift in approach to care. So, Shift.
I also have to ask, where are you guys located? Is it in the city, inner city?
It is, yeah. We are located over in River North. We're at 730 North Franklin Street. It's a beautiful lofted space and just really comfortable. I think it feels warm and welcoming and a little different as far as a clinical environment.
You know, I do have to ask, and hopefully it's, you know, I stated okay, but you know, people might be having, again, you know, mental health crisis, and there's not resources like this so far, and they immediately need that attention. Because how much of a difference does it make if you're actually able to go somewhere, be face-to-face, kind of as Tia was saying, instead of having to wait for an appointment, maybe the moment has passed. You know, can it potentially even save lives?
Yes, yeah, I would argue absolutely. I mean, I think that being able to walk into a space like you're saying, we offer schedule ahead and walk-in availability, and I think it just lends itself to being that on the spot, in the moment support for people. You know, you never know when a crisis is going to arise, and certainly a crisis for me could look like, you know, just a stressful morning. For somebody else, it could look like a breakup, or, you know, academic pressure, or, you know, a parent that's navigating a difficult relationship. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be like, I would say, a capital C crisis. It could be kind of a lowercase c crisis where just life can be stressful, I think, especially in today's day. So.
Are you open 24 hours? How does that work? If I need somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning, what are my options?
Yeah, that's a great question.
We are open 7 days a week, 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, and then 9 to 5 on the weekends. We are, you know, as we grow and learn, we might expand our hours. We're going to see what the community really needs. So we don't have 24-hour care yet.
But you do have chats.
We do have chats, but again, so chats, I should introduce chats. Chats, it's a new service that we're offering to the Chicago community, and that essentially is a one-time conversation with a licensed therapist. So whatever you're carrying, whether it's stress, whether it's something that's building, you can come in and chat about whatever it is. No commitment, no diagnosis, no treatment plan. Speak to a licensed professional who's just there to listen, so you feel seen, you feel heard, you get support, you take what you need, and if you decide you want to try therapy afterwards, welcome to. The goal is just to get people more comfortable with talking to somebody when they need that support.
Yeah, this might be an obvious question, but what do you guys plan for the future? Obviously, we're only a few days in, really, of this first location, but do you plan to hopefully have this all around Chicagoland? And do things like this really exist in other cities? I'm not too familiar with any other ones I can think of.
There's not a lot of, there's a lot of need for it. There aren't a lot of models similar to Shift at all. Oftentimes it's something that's affiliated with a hospital, and there's of course a lot of nonprofits in major cities, but Shift really is the first of its kind to offer the urgent and the routine care and to really focus on young people and families, and we're very proud of that, and we do hope to grow that outside of Chicago to major cities.
It seems like the stereotype around mental health, that wall is slowly but surely coming down. What do you think you offer? Because we are in a space now where people, I've talked openly about, going to therapy, and I know a lot of other people have. What do you tell people that may be watching this right now and they may be like, I do kind of want to learn more about this, but maybe I'm not really sure what all they have to offer?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been saying, I think if you're a person in 2025, then you're appropriate for Shift. There's no, minimal amount of criteria that would make somebody appropriate for our care, especially for the chat service. It's really just an awesome opportunity to walk into a space that's warm and inviting, very discreet. Nobody has to know that you're coming in. And we frame those sessions specifically just to be a space to get advice, to vent, to get perspective, to find additional resources or support. And I think just kind of the informal nature of it walks the line definitely of being a therapeutic option. Everybody would be meeting with a licensed clinician, but it's not structured quite the same as outpatient therapy or meeting with a regular therapist. It's just kind of a couch and somebody who can listen. And I think our hope is that it makes it a lot less daunting to reach out for support, especially without the commitment associated with therapy.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, and you kind of went through it already, but it seems like there's, of course, the big problems, the mental health crisis, the big C, as you said, but then also there's those small things, and it seems pretty clear through this conversation that nothing seems too small for you to go to Shift.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we've had, conversations with people who have an exam coming up, and they just want some advice on how to manage anxiety leading up to an exam. And, of course, hopefully they come back if they feel that the session is helpful, but ultimately it's totally on them if they feel like they need it, whether it's next month, next week, next year. So
I was talking to somebody and I was saying that, as we approach the end of this year, it's felt like 5 years. This year didn't feel like 1 year. It's felt like a lot of years together. We're all hearing some of the things that we're hearing now for the first time ever. We're all dealing with different forms of trauma just from existing in the world. What are some of the top things that people come to you and really need to talk about? Just so that if people are watching and maybe they are thinking, well, this is small, I don't need to talk to somebody about this. This could kind of give them insight that no, what you're thinking isn't small, and it is okay to talk to somebody about it.
Sure. I think our message to everyone who's watching is, if it's important to you, if it's urgent to you, it's important and urgent to us. So whatever is top of mind, whatever is weighing you down, we are here to listen. We are here to be non-judgmental. We are here to support. We are here to be objective, and just to be kind. And so we want you to come in and talk about anything that is on your mind.
Jenya and Holly, thank you so much for coming. Last question for you. I know that you mentioned already, but where can people find more information about Shift? And then also, are there some platforms that you guys are active online?
Yeah, and we do have a website, shftbh.com. A wealth of resource there, very easy to read about our services or about our model. Schedule ahead. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram. We are trying to go to as many events as we can, and we do post those on LinkedIn as well, so if you want to come meet with us. And we should mention we have an open house coming up tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m., 7:30 North Franklin. If you want to come see our beautiful newly built space, it's really wonderful. Meet the team and learn more about what we do. We invite folks to come to that as well.
Congratulations to both of you.
Really, I know that there's probably a lot of work that went behind this. And Shift is spelled SHFT, which is even more trendy, cool, eye-catching.
Yes.
Chicago's first mental health urgent care, open in River North. Okay, we have much more to get through here in the show. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you, ladies, again.
Thank you.
Remember.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We're talking about Chicago arts. We know it's alive and well. Well, thanks to a couple organizations who are also doing that to support the arts. The Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation is helping fund more than 160 of Chicago's small arts organizations through grants. Well, we're learning more about their efforts with Ellen Placey-Wadey, Program Director for Chicago Arts and Collection, Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
You know, I want to talk about some of these grants that you offer to these organizations. Why do you think supporting the arts in Chicago, you know, is so important and really stand for free speech? I know that's a big conversation as well.
It is right now. I mean, I think there's a few things. First off, arts organizations really add to the vitality of a city, right? You want to go to a city that has cool art scenes, that has interesting things to go see and do. And Chicago is deep in terms of its art scene. And in terms of free speech, I think especially we're thinking about it right now, the arts are rooted in free speech. It's about exploration. It's about bringing forward voices that otherwise might not be heard. It's about expressing oneself. And so, you know, there's been some challenges really recently with funding being cut back for the arts, and that's really starting to have an impact on it, and it's really important for us to make sure that we keep the arts alive and vital in this city.
Well, speaking of art, first of all, I want to say I love your outfit.
I know.
I had to say that.
Artsy.
But in terms of these organizations that you are supporting, like you talked about the funding, we've reported on that being a huge issue. Who are some of the organizations that you support?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of them, as we said, 160 of them, but some of the ones that we can talk about, there's one organization called Make Magazine that they do an exchange between writers and videographers between Mexico and Chicago, and they have an event on Friday night actually called a Live Mag, where you can go and it's video and it's poetry, it's in Spanish, it's in English. It's really fun. It's at the MCA. There's also Sones de Mexico, which is an ongoing organization that has its own music school. It does family music lessons, and it really, son is the folk and traditional songs of the various regions of Mexico. We've got South Chicago Dance Theater. Some folks might feel a little intimidated by dance, but really dancers are athletes.
Oh,
you know, what they do is amazing.
Yes.
And even my husband, who is not the guy that I would imagine to be the dance guy, I take him to performances with me. He's really come to love it because he can't believe how athletic it is. South Chicago Dance is going to be doing a show called Lamentations for Peace. That's at the Columbia College Dance Center in December. So there's lots of things that are going on in the city.
Wow, how do you, I mean, again, there's probably a lot of potential candidates, 160 you choose, which, you know, bravo, that's a lot of organizations that you can help. But how do you choose, you know, who to pick for these grants and to help out?
You know, really one of the things we look at is we're very interested in community-based organizations. You know, of course, the bigger organizations that are on Michigan Avenue and, you know, up and down Halsted Street, and those are vital, important places. But one of the things I like to say is that in your neighborhood, you want to find a good dry cleaner, a great coffee shop, a bank outlet, and a small arts organization, because those are all things that make your neighborhood warm and inviting and exciting. So for us, we're always out looking for organizations. We're always looking at the work that they're creating, that they're reflective of their communities. Another group, Teatro Vista, is another organization that help bringing up emerging artists, so we look for that as well. It's kind of a mix of things, but trust me, it's the best part of my job is going out and seeing shows.
I bet. I'm sure it is. And you probably have a full list of things to do watching some of these shows play out. We do want to ask you a few more questions because this is such an important topic. We do have to take a really short break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Now. I don't know, you must have been under a rock if you don't know Chicago has an art scene, right?
Oh, no.
I mean, you must be living in a cave at this point. We have Ellen Placey-Wadey, Program Director for the Chicago Arts and Collections Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation with us. You know, we've talked about, you know, funding cuts. We have issues with people not being paid because of the government shutdown. There's a lot of different issues at play that really impact different nonprofit organizations. What can we do as a community living here in Chicago? We see a lot of these arts programs that are alive. We want them to thrive. What can we do to make sure that they exist and they don't just dissipate?
One of the things is super simple, just go to shows. You know, especially at small arts organizations, you can get this level of intimacy. You can be in a theater that only has 50 other people. You can be as close as we are to the folks that are acting or dancing or performing music on the stage. And there is something about that live performance that is just magic. You don't get it on your couch. You don't get it on a screen. It's that person-to-person exchange. So I would ask folks, there are so many people I've run into that don't realize they have arts organizations within blocks of their houses. Is just investigate it, find out who's around, and go support them, because that's why people do live art, is for that exchange.
You know, Ellen, I was just telling you how I did segments last week with Deeply Rooted Dance Theater, or dance company, and talking about athleticism. Yes, those dancers are top notch. The muscles on those gals were incredible. But also, you know, big thing we were talking about was times are hard right now. People are scared and, you know, hesitant to spend money on going to see a show or going to enjoy themselves. But we said, you know, what a great Christmas present, right? That would be to somebody to have an experience. Would you agree? And it would probably mean so much to these organizations.
Absolutely agree. And the other thing I will say, and again, we specialize in small arts organizations, they're more affordable than you think it is. You can go and see a live performance and it'll probably cost you the same as buying a ticket to the movie theater and a Coke, you know, but this is like a one-of-a-kind experience. So, you know, that's part of it. And there's lots of organizations that have pay-as-you-can, so they have a sliding scale because they understand these are tough times. But yeah, give it as a gift. Go for yourself. Treat yourself.
Walk us through, you know, I think sometimes in Chicago we get bogged down in, it's no diss, but to, you know, the Cadillac Palace theaters, and we get used to hearing those big, you know, locations and venues. Talk about some of the other things that are going on, or places that people can go to see some of these shows.
Yeah, there's some great hubs that have a variety of companies that they support. Theater Wit, Shattered Globe is a theater company that's there. Remy Bumpo is a theater company that's there. The Den Theater does a lot in terms of comedy, but they also do theater as well. The Chopin Theater. Again, these are neighborhood-based places. But the other thing I'll say is that you can't have the large theaters or the large dance companies unless you have the smalls, because that's where folks actually do most of their work, and that's where they learn their craft even more so. So, you know, it's an ecosystem. It's not one or the other, it's all of the above.
I don't want to go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I just had a quick follow-up. So if we do see, you know, if people don't support, right? We want them to support, but if they don't, what does that look like? Because it is an ecosystem. What does that fall and trickle back look like?
So what it looks like is organizations, one, are able to pay their artists less, and artists are just like everybody else. They need to buy groceries, they need to pay their rent. It means oftentimes they have to go other places to find jobs. Artists already are used to gigging it out and doing a few things, but it means they'll have to do more of that. It could mean fewer shows, and honestly right now it can mean that folks will close.
You know, talking about Deeply Rooted again, they were so excited to tell me about their new space that they're hopefully wanting to build over on the south side, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been lucky enough for the last, I think, couple of decades to share with another ballet company downtown. One, it's hard to get to, you know, in the Loop. Not everyone has the means. Two, it'd be nice to have representation on the south side. You know, is that maybe part of what you are helping fund, is those dreams to reach another level, to reach you know, a new community?
Absolutely. I mean, again, the small organizations are very community based, so they're in basically every neighborhood in the city, and those are the folks that we're looking for, because we're also interested in the artists that are performing for the citizens of Chicago. Some of the bigger places, it's a little bit more tourism based, but for us it's about what makes, who's reflecting the voices of the people who actually live here, who are the folks that are connecting with the people in their community.
Now, we talked about those grants that you offer. Have you already dispersed all of those grants, or are there still grants available?
It's an ongoing cycle, so we are having a board meeting in a week, but we've already made our recommendations for that. But we give out grants twice a year, and we are an open policy, so folks can reach out to us. We do have guidelines. Everybody has guidelines, and if an organization fits us, we'll go out and see a show. We're very open to connecting with new voices.
You know, Ellen, it might be a little bit of a silly question, but some people might be scared to take the first step to, you know, build an organization that one day could be amazing. What would you say to that person at home who's just, you know, if something's in the works, they've been thinking about it for a while, maybe they already have the first couple steps done, but it's hard to actually send out that grant request, or they don't know how to. You know, what would you say to them?
Yeah, in terms of, it can be intimidating, there's no doubt about it, but I would say just tell your story. That's what program officers and folks that work at foundations are interested in. What's your story? Don't worry about if it's perfect in terms of its grammar or anything like that. We're interested in having conversations with folks. And really, if you're excited about the art, make us excited about the art.
I love it. Very well said. Ellen Placey-Wadey, thank you so much for your time and joining us on our show, and your lovely outfit as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back
to Chicago Now. I like how we're finishing each other's sentences now. We had a couple of great conversations. One was the first mental health urgent care that's opening up here in River North, or already has opened, and then also talking about the arts, how vibrant it is. But we also want to talk about Doll's Kitchen. So Chicago is no stranger to restaurants. Don't get us on this train again,
No.
But not every business makes it a family affair. Well, we got behind the scenes look at what makes Doll's Kitchen so special.
Check it out.
Doll's Kitchen is special because here we make all of our food made to order. We pay special attention to detail when it comes to cooking at Doll's Kitchen. It's 4 generations of family here working, cooking, sharing every recipe that was passed down to us from our great-grandmother Doll. I named Doll's Kitchen after my great-grandmother Doll because I wanted to be the first in the family to start a legacy. I wanted to be able to give my grandmother her flowers while she's still here. She's 94 years old. She had no clue that I was naming the restaurant after her. So the day that I brung her up here, I let her see. I said, Grandma, look up. She looked up and she said, what that say? That say my name? And I was like, yes, the restaurant is named Doll's Kitchen and Catering. The smile that I saw on my grandmother's face, I knew right then and there I had did something right.
I didn't know that the kids had planned that. They surprised me. When I came to the restaurant, I said, Doll's Kitchen? Oh my goodness, that's a blessing. So I'm really proud of my granddaughters. I'm proud of all of what you have did for me. I enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoy it. It's a blessing.
When you come into Doll's Kitchen, I have, I call it the family wall, and it's pictures of my family. It's from my great-grandmother Doll, her siblings, her family, my grandfather, just pictures of the family in general, and I want my customers to feel that family love when they come into the restaurant. And we get questions all the time about all of the old pictures that's on the wall of my family. Doll's Kitchen is not only a restaurant, we also cater as well. We had the opportunity to cater multiple corporate events. We also had the opportunity to cater for TV production sets such as The Chi, Chicago Med, and The Bear.
One thing I like about Doll's Kitchen is the quality of the food. The food is delicious.
What I like about Doll's Kitchen is, first of all, the family orientation here.
They have innovative foods, flavors are on point. Within that first bite, you're gonna know, make the right choice.
Our menu is on Sunday, we have Soul Food Sunday. So Soul Food is only on Sunday. So we have all of those recipes that was passed down from my great-grandmother Doll. A lot of our customers' favorites are the lamb chops, our baked macaroni and cheese, our dressing, our fried catfish fillets, oxtails. We have a little bit of everything on the menu for Soul Food Sunday. So Wednesday through Saturday is all of our DK favorites, more so of the chicken wings, the Philly cheese steaks, rice bowls, egg rolls, a lot of grab-and-go items that you can come in and get. And on Sunday, you can come in and get some of that comfort food.
Welcome to Doll's Kitchen, where every meal is prepared with love.
You can go get some because guess what? They deliver to. I've been on the menu the whole time. They're located at 1014 Southwestern Avenue, right in Chicago.
That's like looking at Western.
Yep, yeah. I'm looking at the jerk chicken tips, the Nene's chicken Philly. You can get some 8-piece crispy wings. Oh my Lord!
You know what? And I appreciate what she said. She was trying to give her grandmother her roses while she was still alive, and
I love that.
So important. 4 generations. That's impressive.
4 generations, and now I'm hungry.
Now I've been hungry.
Yeah. Next time we got to make sure we get a delivery.
You know what?
Right after
we're
the
gonna have them come in, and I also want to learn just a little bit more information. But what a great story!
Great story.
Wow, and well produced too.
The food looks absolutely amazing. So we have to try some of that, Gabby.
Well done, Doll's Kitchen.
Very well done to Doll's Kitchen. That was a really well done interview.
Yeah, I hope we get to see more of those. I know that we're really going to try to push to get out in the community, go and visit some different businesses. But man, food at this time of day.
I know it's rough, right? To talk about it. But
Doll's
yeah,
Kitchen.
And it was great to see Doll herself still working in the kitchen.
94 years old.
94 years old.
And look how good she was looking. Okay, we have some more trending topics to go over.
We do?
Dark showering trend for better sleep.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Wellness trend making the rounds on social media. You guessed it. Shower at night or with the lights dimmed. Okay, I think that could be a vibe, actually.
I do that, actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so I don't turn the lights completely off, but I choose and opt for the dimmest light in the shower. I don't know. I think I personally think it's career oriented of why I do it. We're always under these bright lights. By the time I get home, I'm like, I'm sick of lights. I'm sick of lights in my face. And so, yeah, I choose for dimmer lights in my whole entire home, not just for showers.
Really?
Yeah, and I have to remember that my whole household is not on camera. So, like, I cook under very like dim light.
Or at least trying to get around the house and she's like tripping all over the place.
I like don't turn on the lights pretty much at all until somebody's like, man, it's dark in here, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, you save the energy too. See, I have a big window because I'm in an apartment, but a big window like we're looking at right now here in Studio 32 that just shines light in.
light on you?
I will go in, and my husband has his thermostat set so that when he leaves, I don't know why this is, he needs to change it. When he leaves, it turns off, so I go in there and it's like 76 degrees, even yesterday on a cold day. Yeah, so.
Well, I like it warm. So
I don't even have a choice to turn off the lights. It's just the window's right there.
The only thing about showering in the dark, are they saying dim lights or, oh, they're saying showering now with the dim lights dim. Yeah, I guess the only question I have about that is like, how can you find your parts to really wash
if it's completely
properly? Even Mia's like, don't go there. Yes, Mia, I said it. I'm just asking questions.
I don't know. When lights go out, it signals safety, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and begins your body's natural descent into rest and repair mode. So maybe this is more so for people who shower at night, which I am.
Yeah, but you still got to get to your behind.
That's true. You can have a nightlight in there, and they will allow that. Also, shaving, that can be kind of dangerous. Anyway, apparently it's healthy for you, okay? It's relaxing overall, excitement, mark.
Okay, we got to talk about something else. We're going down a dark hole on that story. Boom, boom. Coffee could actually protect against irregular heartbeats. Most people would think or have thought otherwise about this, but clinical trial found 200 patients with persistent irregular heartbeats had a significantly lower risk of the condition. They saying that this week. Listen, I don't even want to read it because they say that this week, and then next week they'll say 2 cups of coffee is bad for you every week. I mean, it's always something back and forth with these studies. Like, who are they talking to?
And you know what happened? Me tripping yesterday or last week was melatonin. You know, like a few weeks ago they said, but that might be a little bit more realistic, but I swear like 6 months ago they're like, oh yeah, melatonin's not that bad because you're getting sleep, right? And so your body's repairing and stuff, and all of a sudden they drop this bomb on me and I have to stop taking melatonin.
More than 10 million Americans have been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, which is irregular heartbeat. Another study found participants with AFib who drank coffee were 17% less likely to have a reoccurrence of an irregular heartbeat and went longer before they had their first instance of one during the study. Okay, I don't know what to make of it, like I said, because every few weeks there's another study that then makes this study go literally out the window. I mean, because that's what happens, right?
It is true.
It's literally what happened.
You know, here's the thing.
I'm drinking my coffee.
They also need to be more specific, because coffee to me, unfortunately, is like a sugar bomb, right? So I know that they're already not talking about me.
I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize it said it might not make irregular heartbeats worse. Okay, but either way, the point is, okay, is that they say that this week, next week it'll be something.
Did you read this line?
I threw the card.
Clinical trial found 200 patients with persistent irregular heartbeats had significantly lower risk of the condition.
I hear him, but I don't believe it.
Okay, well.
Okay. Well, we got to go to break real quick. He's holding up the sign telling us to wrap it on up. We'll go to break real quick and we'll be right
No, I think it said no break, so maybe
No, it said go to break.
No break.
Oh, no break? Oh, I can't read today.
You gotta get it together. She's like misleading the headline here.
Did that really say no break?
Yeah, it did.
I need glasses,
N-O break.
I thought it said go to break.
You added like 2 words in there. No,
this show is going off the rails.
Anyway,
this is what happens when you don't get enough sleep.
Yeah, coffee could protect against irregular heartbeats, but maybe not sugar bomb coffees like I enjoy.
And how do you enjoy your coffee? Mostly creamy?
Yeah, no, it's like a straight up latte with like whatever kind of
Can't even tell it's coffee.
Yeah, and so
that's how I am.
I know, but I think that's how a lot of us are. We're getting away from the traditional coffee. I will never be mature and drink a black coffee.
Yeah, I can't drink a black coffee at all. You know, I'm black, but I don't want my coffee black. All right, well, it has been a pleasure being with you today. We will see you on Hump Day. I promise I'll come more well rested. We'll see you tomorrow for Chicago Now. Have a great, safe day, everyone.
See ya.